Fred Guttenberg highlighted how important it is to elect Democratic politicians for the 2022 midterm elections, when addressing a variety of major issues, including abortion and gun control, during a recent interview on the HollywoodLife Podcast. If you want gun safety, if you want the freedom of choice, if you want to do something about the environment, if you want voting rights, he explained on the podcast. The only way to save democracy is to go ahead and vote Democrats in this election cycle. Rebuild what was once the Republican Party, and we can worry about who's voting for different parties in a future election. Not this one. The gun activist, who lost his daughter Jamie in the 2018 Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida, urged Americans to emphasize just how important it is to exercise your right to do so. If you think your vote doesn't matter, you're wrong. This legislation was only possible because we voted in 2018 and 2020, and get off your butts and get out there and vote in November, because a whole lot depends on it, and voting matters, he said. Not only did Fred tell HL how important it is for Americans to vote, but he warned about what Republicans winning the House of Representatives and the Senate could mean for President Joe Biden and America in general. This may be the election, where we either hold on to the chance to continue fighting for democracy, or we permanently lose it, he said. They have made it clear if they end up with both House and the Senate, the first thing they're going to do is move to impeach Biden. As a prominent gun control activist, Fred stressed how important it is for sensible gun legislation, especially following recent deadly mass shootings, such as the one in Uvalde, Texas. Do we want to be okay with a bastardized interpretation of the Second Amendment? That allows us to be in a place where our own personal security is always at risk, where our right to life is always at risk, or do we want to do something about it? He said. Fred explained how so many Americans are in favor of gun control legislation, like the bipartisan gun bill that passed at the end of June, and he explained how much of it needs to be decided at the ballot box, by electing officials who are in favor of gun control laws. We as a country now have a responsibility to put the brakes on gun sales, and this legislation was a start, he said. The violence we're seeing now is predictable. It was also preventable, and we still have the chance to do more. We're never going to get rid of gun violence at this point, but we can start turning the curb. We can lower the gun violence death rate. We can reduce the incidences of gun violence.